editorial coordinator at the Daily Sabah newspaper, and he joins us live now from here in Istanbul. It's a pleasure to speak to you today. Now, Erdogan's trip has revealed a new layer of relations between Turkey and the Gulf countries. Bilateral ties have now been upgraded to what the Turkish presidency describes as a strategic level. What does that mean?
Well, many have focused on the outcome of these visits to first Saudi Arabia and then Qatar and then finally to the UAE with huge numbers of investments and deals signed. But as you mentioned, it is a new level. It's a new layer, actually, that Turkey is establishing with the Gulf countries, a new level of relationship. And this is particularly due to Turkey's increasing an active influence in the region, particularly following the U.S. partial withdrawal from the Middle East, and the Russian war has also had an effect on the regional dynamics, where the actors want to, in a way, establish their own autonomous policies. And Turkey, as an example, as a leading actor in the region, is able to facilitate this new dynamism for the Gulf countries. And thus, this level in ties and in relationship has been moved from, solely bilateral investment-related ties to one that is more multidimensional, which will facilitate actually Gulf countries' activism in their region and beyond their region as well. So Turkey will be facilitating not only the relationship with the Gulf countries, but it will also move the Gulf countries, will facilitate this move of Gulf countries beyond their region. And this will have a very significant effect in bilateral ties with Turkey's bilateral ties with the regional countries, be it with the newly normalized ties with Saudi Arabia and the UAE, or already very strong ties with Qatar. I think
It's struck agreements worth more than $50 billion alone with the UAE. Just walk us through some of the main takeaways for you from Erdogan's trip. What are the most important deals that he's made with the three countries?
Well, I mean, with Saudi Arabia, although the amount is not made public yet, one of the record-breaking defense agreements has been signed with Saudi Arabia. And 50 billion with the UAE is not just in one sector, of course, but it's a very, I think there's 13 agreements signed in various sectors, from tourism to defense to information technology and to space engineering. So there's a lot of, multi-level and multi-layered agreements that will not only boost, I think, bilateral ties. My main takeaway from this visit is that Turkey is becoming a very influential actor in the regional balances, where previously even the Gulf countries among themselves weren't able to agree on, and they were able to agree on many of the important issues, let's say, be it in Yemen or Libya or elsewhere. Now, I think they see a very win-win pragmatic relationship to be beneficial for their own sake, but also for the regional stability and regional peace. And President Erdogan's leader-to-leader diplomacy is, I think, very influential in facilitating this new dynamism in the region. Of course, there's bilateral investments, bilateral trade relations, but I think the new phase moves beyond this vision of bilateral ties solely on economic terms.
Right. Just to pick up on your comment on the geopolitical changes, we are seeing a geopolitical shift here. How do you think the West views the strong relationship that Erdogan has formed with Saudi Arabia and the UAE?
Well, I think, we have to see how the West will handle the autonomous, or the attempt to establish some sort of autonomous policies with regards to the Gulf countries. Following the U.S. withdrawal from the region, or partial withdrawal. Turkey has been able to do that, and we can see that when it comes to the very fine line that Turkey has been walking between Ukraine and Russia, or when it comes to its own interests in the East Med and elsewhere, or northern Syria. But with regards to the West and how it will how it will react to the autonomous policies of the Gulf countries, I think this is something that time will show. But I think, following the NATO summit last week, where Turkey is opening a new page with the US
Right.
and with the EU, I think Turkey could actually become a very key actor for the Western bridge to the region.
Right.
Previously this was done bilaterally, but I think through Turkey this can further grow and this relationship
Right.
become more stable.
All right, Mehmet Celik, thank you so much for being with us here on the NewsHour and sharing that analysis with us. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.